Welcome, it's your friendly neighborhood badger here, and I'm back to talk about what I am considering one of the most powerful things to come out of the 3.16 Scourge announcement. I've been toying over whether I think this is actually a good belt or not. Like, oh, is it going to be good? Is it not going to be good? But I've decided on, yeah, it's going to be pretty good, and I honestly think that this is going to be close to, or if not, on Headhunter rarity. Now, look, I know, I think I said in the title or something like this of this video, it's like, you know, the new Headhunter or something like that. I don't know what I'm going to put in the title yet, but, you know, it's not got the same power as Headhunter in terms of capturing all of the buffs from rare enemies you kill, but it has immense permanent utility. Mageblood Heavy Belt. Now, what is this belt? It's got some strength from its heavy belt, it's got dexterity, fire, cold res, yeah, that's alright. But the three last mods here are the things that we really are going to focus on today, and I'm going to give you some in-depth examples of how this can really just be absolutely insane for almost any build. So first of all, magic utility flasks cannot be used. Oh, well, that doesn't seem very good, does it? But wait, leftmost 4 magic utility flasks constantly apply their flask effects to you. And then magic utility flask effects cannot be removed. So what this means, basically in a nutshell, that 4 of your 5 flask slots, if they are utility flask, the leftmost ones, basically turn into permanent buffs. Instead of needing to worry at all about duration of flasks, flask charges, or anything like that, they are basically, you read the mods on your utility flask and that is permanently applied to you. Now, some people have almost already written this off, saying, oh, look, I can't use unique flasks with it. Why would I even bother? But with the additions this league coming in 3.16 to some increases to tiers of utility flasks, magic utility flasks, number 1. Number 2, enkindling orbs, which often give a lot more power to the flask itself, with a downside of increased charges used or less duration or something like that, which doesn't matter whatsoever with this belt. Excuse me, sorry, I just had something in my throat there. Yeah, it doesn't matter whatsoever with this belt. And then lastly, other things like flask effect around the place, and alchemists on flasks as well is the only prefix modifier you want on a utility flask, because it's giving reduced duration but increased effect, and we will talk about that right now. So, I've done up a little bit of a spreadsheet here. It's not that much, but I've taken kind of the top 4 most interesting flasks with the most interesting prefixes and suffixes on there. Now, you can see right here, we've got Diamond Flask, Sulfur Flask, Quicksilver Flask, and Granite Flask. Now, the Diamond Flask is going to give you 100% increased critical strike chance. Sulfur Flask is 40% increased damage. Quicksilver, as we know, 40% increased move speed. And Granite Flask right here is, 1500 to armor and, 1500 to armor. All of the prefixes, the only good prefixes, I wonder if I can find where I was actually looking at all of this. The only good prefix whatsoever, if you're not worried at all about duration or charges, is your Alchemists right here. Alchemists is 25% increased effect and 33% reduced duration. So, you know, prefix on all of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. So the suffix, say for a Diamond Flask, you might want 55% critical strike chance during flask effect. Now, I think this is buffed in 3.16. I checked the patch notes for that, which should be over here somewhere. 55% increased critical strike chance, right about there. So base stats, this Diamond Flask, when activated, is giving you 155 increased critical strike chance. Sulfur Flask, you can get, once again, the increased effect right here. Either 17 attack or cast speed during flask effect. So you can see right here as well, either 17 attack speed during flask effect or 17 cast speed during flask effect right there as well. Once again, with Mageblood, you are always under flask effect. Quicksilver Flask, giving you 40 move speed and then 14 move speed on there from Adrenaline. So 54 base move speed, and then a Granite Flask, for example, 60% armor on there, and the Alchemist's 25% increased effect right there as well, granting a base of 1500 to armor and 60% increased armor. Alright, let me zoom this in a little bit right here. so we can check this out a bit more. So yeah, we saw the base stats. So we've got our crit strike chance, our attack damage, our move speed, armor. But then we have enkindling orbs, which you can get 50% increased effect from your enkindling orbs. 25% from the alchemists. Now, the 25% is not calculated here, so don't worry, I'm not double calculating that. And then if you were to stack a few points in the tree, I'm estimating, because the tree is very much changing, I'm going to say another 25% there as well is going to be really easy to get if you are spending a few points to do so. So a total of 100% increased Flask effect. So what this is going to mean, that you can get 310% increased critical strike chance, 80% increased damage, and 34% attack or cast speed, 108% increased move speed all the time, 3,000 flat armor, 120% increased armor. There are also, you know, if you used a Jade Flask right here, it would be 3,000 evasion and 120% increased evasion. You could also use a Basalt Flask, which will give you 40% more armor or 40% more evasion. And there's a bunch of other amazing stuff that you can get. Another really interesting thing to think about is you can get full ailment immunity on, you know, if on 3 of these flasks, if you didn't want one of these suffixes, you could get, you know, immune to shock, chill, ignite. But I say that's a lot easier. It's pretty easy to get, you know, in other places. So it would be basically like equipping a belt like this one right here. I've just put everything onto a belt. So you can kind of see it a little bit more just on the screen here. You know, global crit strike chance, 80 damage, 34 cast speed, 108% increased move speed, 300 armor, 120% increased armor. Now, obviously, it's not exactly like just equipping a belt like this, which is impossible, because if you equipped a belt that had these stats, well, then you'd still be able to use your flasks, right? So I guess the downside is you have only got one flask slot open, where you can use either, you know, it's going to be a live flask, or maybe it is a unique flask that you want to use, something like that. I really think this is going to be absolutely insane. Now, I also haven't calculated in Pathfinder damage calculations here, mainly because you can get around about 20% increased Flask effect from Pathfinder as well, so you could add another 20% onto this if you'd like to. But Pathfinder doesn't really worry too much about charges and duration and everything like that anyway. So it's actually not too much of an issue, and you probably wouldn't even use this belt on a Pathfinder. You would use it on basically any other Ascendancy. Imagine this, say for example, being on a critical Frostblades Berserker, or something like that, right? Or, you know, an Inquisitor that wants to stack a ton of cast speed or something like that. You're just zooming around the place, 108% increased move speed. It's absolutely ridiculous. I really think that this belt is going to be the same rarity as Headhunter. I think we're not going to see a ton of them early. If we do, if they are actually not that rare, which I'm pretty sure Chris said they are going to be a chase item, so chase probably means close to Headhunter rarity. Look, if you find one, use it, is basically all I'm saying, because the only better thing that you're going to be getting is probably a Headhunter, and that's only for map clearing and everything like that as well. Remember, this belt is something that, say for example, you know, you could have a Headhunter and you could have a Mageblood. You Headhunter with the maps, and then you Mageblood on for the bosses, right? And then you've got this all of these effects up, 100% uptime on bosses, on everything, in your hideout, 108% move speed in your hideout. Come on, guys, like, this is crazy. This is so cool. That's all I really have to say about this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. There'll be more content coming out as well. I know a lot of you are waiting for some builds, but as I always say, it's not really my place to put build guides out, especially right now, when we don't even have the new tree or anything like that. Once that does start coming into Path of Building, you can probably expect me to be getting through some Discharge build guide stuff, just some generic Ignite build guide stuff. I'm going to be doing Dominating Blow, and probably also going to be doing a Tech Slam, no, not Tech Slam Chieftain, sorry, Ancestral War Chieftain Totem build. That's all I really have to say. Thanks for watching, and until next time, Badger is out.